Howdy fellow Tenno. This is going to be a quick Warframe guide on how to find rare items fast. And I mean really fast. Be aware, this is definitely not for beginners. This is the first video that I have uploaded that is 100% not for beginners. You most likely will not have this if you've just started, but if you're still interested and you want to get to this point, keep watching. It is definitely something to look into. I will admit this right here takes a lot of time to get set up, but I'll explain all of that in just a minute. First, I want to talk about what we are looking for. What rare items that we are looking for. There are a million different types of rare items in the game, but I will say this one is not necessary at all. You do not have to find a single one of these ever and you will be fine. This is no way, shape, or form necessary. This is only something that you do if you're bored and you just want something new to do, or you really want to grind out maybe Forma. What we are looking for are rare containers, reinforced containers, and even if you want Forgotten Grineer storage containers. The Forgotten Grineer storage containers, they just contain 3 different scenes. If you want scenes, go ahead. That's not something I will ever farm out. The rare containers, on the other hand, and yes, there are multiple different types. There are Grineer, Corpus, Orokin, etc. They contain Mantis engines, Mantis fuselage, and Mantis avionics. If you don't know what that is a different type of landing craft. For instance, say you're loading into a mission, you see other people that have different ships than you. That is one of them. A Mantis. So that is a way that you can get a different landing craft. Also, if it is Grineer, they have detonite injectors. If it is Corpus, they have field drones. And if it's Orokin or Zariman, you'll get a Forma. And it's not just a Forma blueprint. It is a fully built Forma. You also can get 80 Endo, and also the one that I find kinda goofy, a 30-minute affinity or credit booster. I mean, you can do a lot in 30 minutes, but if you're grinding this out just for 30-minute boosters, please don't ever, never again. All that is right there is a bonus on top of the either Forma, Fieldron, or Detonite Injector, and maybe the Mantis pieces. Occasionally, a random weapon blueprint can drop, and this could be a weapon blueprint that you normally have to get from researching in a clan dojo, or from other ways. I don't think I've ever gotten a weapon blueprint, but I would not remember. You also can get around 700 to 1200 credits. Woo! Right? Wow. Big money. Again, the rare containers have the Mantis parts for the landing craft. We will talk about them here shortly. If you're going against Grineer, it'll be Detonite Injector. If it's Corpus, it'll be a Fieldron. If it's Orokin or Zariman, it's a Forma. 80 Endo, a 30-minute credit or affinity booster, and occasionally a random weapon blueprint. Also a few credits. All in all, not too bad. Also not that great, but this is also pretty much the common ones, I should say, because we're about to get on to the better ones. The more rare ones are reinforced containers. Just like the last one, it contains the same thing, except you get a 60-minute affinity or credit booster instead of a 30. And also, instead of 700 to 1200, you get 5,000 to 10,000 credits. Still not all that crazy, of course. This is not meant to be no game-breaking glitch or hack or anything like that. This is something that almost every player should probably already know about, but the way to farm it, not as many people might know. Certain few things Warframe just doesn't really tell you too much about. Okay, on to the last thing. Forgotten Grineer storage containers. This one I'm not going on about. I don't know if I've ever found one. I don't really pay attention to scenes. I would have to look to see if I had any of these, but that would be my last worry, is that one. A little more information on the rare storage containers. In any given mission that you do, there is a very low chance of you getting one rare storage container and even a lower chance of just one reinforced storage container. It can be anywhere on the map, but it will only spawn one. So if you find one, you will not find another. You might as well just leave. A huge tip about finding these, along with sculptures, is you want to look during alerts and syndicate missions. Don't ask me why, but they do have an average chance of spawning higher in alerts and syndicate missions. I always search when I do an alert or I do a syndicate mission. Also, dark sectors seem to have a little bit of an increased chance of spawning rare and reinforced containers. I would say, in my personal opinion, syndicates and dark sectors have been where I probably found the most. While we're doing this, we won't only be looking for the containers. We will also find sculptures. This is also the best way for you to find your syndicate medallions. It's also the best way to find any of the scannable objects that you need to finish. And that is one tip I want to say, is that you want to try to scan every object and get them done. That way they don't pop up anymore. The only things that will pop up will be sculptures. If you're running a syndicate, it'll be medallions, and if it's not one of them, it'll be a rare container. I have to say, for me personally, my favorite and what I believe is the best Warframe to look for these, and also to look for medallions or anything that is on the map showing, is Limbo. Limbo's 4, depending on your range, it will break all of the objects in a whole entire room. For instance, this one is the build that I use to do all of it, and also just for looting, for getting any material that I want. If I want to break stuff like an angry little child, I want to pick my Limbo. And as you can see, I'm maxed out range. Damage doesn't matter. You're not using the 4th ability to do damage to enemies. And if you're running a low level, you probably still will kill all the enemies, but you're not looking to do damage. You're only looking to break open crates. Every crate that you break open is one less little mark on your map that you have to check. Of course, you want a little bit of efficiency just so that you can spam it. Other than that, you don't need duration or any strength. Just max range and a little bit of efficiency. Keep your energy going, break all the items, and you will find what you're looking for. Easy build. All you do is run around and spam 4 and watch everything break. But the thing is, what if you don't want to run every mission and break every container and just listen out for the humming noise, which, by the way, rare and reinforced containers do make sort of a humming sound. You can listen for them, but that can be very hard with all the other sounds in the game. So right now, we are about to make this 100 times easier, and I mean it. And this is also the reason why I say this is not for beginners. Like I said, every beginner is different. A beginner could be better than me. You never know. You could just start and still be better than me. But if you just started, I highly doubt that you have the Helminth system and it ranked up to the max level. If you don't, I will help you out here in just a second. So what you want is the Helminth system. Every time you level this up, you will unlock new abilities and more slots for you to subsume. If you don't know what subsuming is, it is when you take an extra Warframe that you do not want. It cannot be a prime. It has to be a regular Warframe. You feed it to your Helminth system. This allows you to take one specific skill off of that Warframe and you can put it onto whichever Warframe that you want. But we're not here for all that. We are here to look at the last one, number 15. When you get to 15 on here, you get an ability called Golden Instinct. This is a godsend if you have an open ability slot that you can put it in. Every mission that you go into, if you use this skill, it will scan around you. Every mission that you join, while you're running around, you can use this skill and it will scan, depending on your range, a good distance around you. And if there is something near you, it will point you to the direction. The reason why I say to use max range is because certain maps are small enough where you can load into them, use that one skill. If it doesn't do anything, you know you have nothing on that map. You can just leave or finish the mission. That is how powerful this is. But it does get better because there is another skill, I should say. It's not technically called a skill, but I'm gonna call it a skill. There is another skill that I'm gonna talk about here shortly that makes tracking down exactly where it is almost instant. Just in case there are any beginners watching, which I hope there are, I hope you stick around and I hope you learn something. If you are a beginner and you don't have the Helminth room unlocked, it is not hard to get. You can have this room unlocked just by going into missions or clan dojos. If you're around somebody that has a Helminth cyst, I know that sounds gross, but if they have a cyst, it can infect you. So if you want one, find somebody that has one and run some missions with them. You're bound to catch it. It won't take long, trust me. Other than that, there is one other way to unlock it, and it's if you already have Nidus or Nidus Prime unlocked. If you have that, by just equipping him, you unlock the room. You don't have to go through the step of getting infected and getting a disgusting cyst on your neck that you have to pop. Alright, say that you have the Helminth system and you're ready to start leveling it up. As you can see right here, subsuming a Warframe gives 1600 experience. That is something that you want to try to do as often as you can. This right here, like I said, is not for beginners. Injecting an ability gives you about 8 experience. Feeding the Helminth actually gives you pretty good experience, but it will use up a ton of resources. Again, not for beginners. Injecting an invigoration gives you 4800 experience. This right here is easily the way that I got to 15. I saw that skill and I was like, I have to have it. It is beautiful. I grinded that every single week. I invigorated all 3 of the Warframes that I could, whether I played them or not. I invigorated 3 times a week, every time. But if you want to level it up really fast, subsume as many Warframes as you can. That right there will make you have to feed it. That will also give you more experience. And if you have the Warframes in your inventory already, invigorate. It does not matter if you're going to use them or not, just do it for the experience. It will rank you up so fast, especially because you can get 4800 3 times every single week. Alright, for any beginners that are watching, if you want to be able to replace Warframe abilities with other Warframe abilities, or one of the unique ones that you get from this Helminth system, it has to be purchased from Sun in the Necrolist. It will cost you 15,000 reputation, and it requires a mastery rank of 8, and you need to be rank 3 associated with them. That is not too hard. If you are mastery rank 8 or higher, you can easily get to rank 3 pretty quick. I will also point out that you can buy it in the market, but I would not recommend that. And for beginners, again, if you don't know how to get the invigorations, it is the exact same as what I just said previously, except you have to be rank 5, and it'll cost you 30,000 reputation, but it is worth it. I will tell you now, that is one of the best things you can ever get, so it is worth it. Any new players? Go and try to get this. Alright, I know this isn't a beginner guide, so let's move on. Okay, here is the second thing that can make this so much easier. Also, this will make medallions and syndicate missions, Voca, everything so easy to find. I have to point this out. Warframe doesn't really tell you exactly what these do, and I'm talking about landing crafts. For the longest time, I just thought in the loading screen that everybody's ship was just different. It was just appearance. But no, I was definitely wrong. Pretty much every one of the landing crafts has a certain skill. At least that's what I'm going to call it to make it easy to understand. But I am not going to talk about every single landing craft. Maybe for another video. Today we are going to talk about the Parallax. I probably butchered that. And by the way, thank you guys for correcting me in the comments about all of the names and items that I have pronounced incorrectly. Again, I'm sorry I can't pronounce everything correctly. I do pronounce some of them incorrectly on purpose just because it's easier for me and I feel like it's easier for people to understand. But there are certain things that y'all have pointed out that I will fix. So thank you. Okay, so the landing craft that you want is the Parallax. Again, this is the description that it gives you and why a lot of people probably don't know that these are great things to have. It says it comes with the Orokin Eye air support ability, scanning for nearby rare resources. But the way that they word it all, it kind of just looks like a novel description. The way that they started out with the very proper first sentence and then just adds that little bit but doesn't tell you anything else about it. It just says air support ability. I will be honest, I did not know about air support for probably 500 days or more into playing. The only reason I even found out about air support is this exact aircraft. That's it. Other than that, I've never tried any of the air supports. I have all of them, I think, but I have not tried them because this is the only one I use. I use this in almost every single mission that I go into because you never know if it's gonna lock onto a sculpture or a rare container. You just never know. Plus, if you're running in pubs, you can help out new players that haven't gotten a scannable object. But again, you definitely want the Parallax. It comes with what it says ability, but I like to say a skill, and that is Orokin Eye. It basically just drops down a big scan, and the scans can find basically the same things as Golden Instinct, but it will mark it directly on the map for you to find. If you want this landing craft, it is only found in Zerman reinforced carry pod storage containers. That is a mouthful. So if you want a chance of finding all of the pieces to build this, you need to go to Zerman. Find some rare containers. But I will say, if you're trying to grind out the landing crafts, using this method, it will break you. You will burn out so fast. I'm only making this video because I use both of these, what I call skills, every single day, and I use them so often. On occasion, I will look for crates because it can be fun, but if you're doing it only for one specific thing, like for instance looking for the landing craft, which has a very, very low % chance of dropping the different ones you need, I would not go that route. Big tip: do not buy a landing craft from the regular market. Go to Warframe market and you will find almost any of the landing crafts for very low platinum, and I mean very low. Don't burn yourself out, go and buy it. You will find them along the way just by playing. This is just for people that want to do this for fun. This is definitely not a must do by any means. Again, another little tip: you cannot find every single landing craft using this. Some of them are found in caches and sabotages and etc. So if you're looking for the Parallax, you can use this method. You just can't use Orokin Eye yet. You can still do what I'm about to talk about. I'm going to explain how easy this is. For instance, if you're looking for Forma, go to the Void, go to Hebit, easy capture, very, very easy. As soon as you get into the mission, if you have max range on your Warframe, use Golden Instinct. If nothing happens, that right there tells you there is nothing in that mission that you're looking for. You can exit out, or you can just rush through it. If you load into a mission and use that skill and it locks onto something, you will see basically a floating orb showing you the direction to go. Right there, you already know you got something. This is like fishing in real life. That's how I feel, at least. When you get a hit, it kind of feels good. And that sounded really bad. You load in, use Golden Instinct. If it doesn't cast, either finish the mission or just quit. I would only recommend quitting the mission if you don't care about your stats. To be fair, most people probably don't, especially since this is basically the meta. So if you want to find these as fast as possible, the meta, the best way that you can do it is to get 4 people, obviously, that can load into a mission extremely fast. Load-in times obviously will make it a big difference. Everyone needs Golden Instinct. So what you do is, every single one of you, set it to friends only or invite only. All of you go into a match separately. As soon as one of you guys gets a hit, you invite every single person in the squad. So basically, you are not squatting up at the beginning. You're going completely by yourself. All 4 go completely by yourself into Hepit. Use that skill. If one person gets a hit, they invite the whole squad, and then y'all go look for whatever it is. That way, all 4 people get it, and you get it very fast if you want to play that way. I have never entered a mission, tried that, and quit. Especially when it's Hepit. It takes 50 seconds. There's no reason to quit, but that's just me. Most people don't care about their stats at all. To be fair, I don't think I've ever looked at mine, but if you're looking to find any of the rare containers, medallions, sculptures, any of the scannables, this right here is how to obtain all of it. And extremely fast. It is not fast to be able to do this, but once you are able to do this, it makes finding all of these hidden items extremely easy. No more chore, just a little shoulder shrug. Again, the best meta from what I've heard. I've never done this, just like all of my other videos. I will not pretend to know everything. The only information that I'm giving you is what I've learned from just playing the game or from doing a little bit of research. Don't get me wrong, I may get a little bit of information incorrect here and there, but you guys always point that out in the comments, and I want to thank you so much. I don't want to ever misdirect any new player or veteran player in the wrong direction. I never want to do that. But again, the group meta, all 4 people go to Hepit, friends only or invite only lobby. You use Golden Instinct. As soon as one person gets it, that one person invites all 3 other people, and then you all get the reward. So, one more thing to talk about, the pros and the cons. What are the pros? Well, Forma. For me, that's all it is. Pretty good rewards. That's the only real good pro. Other than the fact that it feels rewarding, kind of like catching a fish in real life. You get that bite, and it gives you that adrenaline rush. That's kind of what this does. It's fun, to an extent. The cons, this is why I said to an extent. It can be boring. If this is all you want to do, this will get boring. No matter who you are, this will get boring. One of the reasons why, and another con in my opinion, is most of the times you will get sculptures instead of the crates that you're mainly looking for. In my own experience, 90% of every hit I've gotten with Golden Instinct has been a sculpture. Another con, and this is only a con if you care about your stats. If you do this, your win, lose, and quit ratio will be horrible looking. I don't care about stats. I don't look at them. I've never looked at anybody else's, and I don't even think I've seen my own. I personally do not care about the stats. I'm just here to play a game, but some people care about that, and some people even judge on that probably, but I don't see the point. If you want to do this, you do this. You want to quit? Go back in. Quit? Go back in. Go ahead. What is stopping you? Stats are just stats. What is stopping you? If you really want something and you want to take the fast way, go ahead. It's there for a reason. Alright guys, I do not want this video to go on for about 30 minutes like my last one, so I'm going to go ahead and try to cut it short. Alright, but if you enjoyed this video, or it helped you out, please hit that like button. It's free. It's only polite. You don't have to though. If you want to see more Warframe tips and tricks and funny moments from other games, hit subscribe. Again, just like every single video that I post, I will warn you that I do not only post Warframe videos. So lately, it has been pretty much only Warframe, but it will have a little bit of variety in between. If you do not want to subscribe due to that, I completely understand and I would not be upset. But if you do want to subscribe, thank you so much. And if you have any tips related to this video, please leave it in the comments. Also, if I made any mistakes or if I pronounced something wrong, I apologize. I do pronounce things wrong. I do have a speech impediment. I cannot help that. But if I do say something wrong, please correct me. I will not take offense. You will never learn unless you make a mistake. So if I make a mistake, please correct me. I will not get upset. I will thank you. But again, thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. I'm out.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want.